So I'll start by talking about the functions and parameters 3 stuff. And honestly, there's not a whole lot of new content in this lesson. This is mostly just practicing using functions and parameters to do the graphics stuff that we have learned about in Unit 1. So we are able to use functions to, let's say I want to draw a circle. I need to run a bunch of lines of code to actually draw a circle with this program. And what we can do is we can make one function that will draw a circle given all of this extra information. So I can make my draw circle function accept some radius, whatever color I'm going to draw, and then the center position. And then within that function, I can draw a circle, set its color, set its position, and add it to my screen. And this is going to be very similar to when we made the event handler functions for like the on-click method, the on-click thing when we are handling the clicking on our screen. We were making a function for that as well. So here we are drawing circles with a function. So if I say draw circle with a radius of 20, blue, and at 100, 100, I'm going to draw a circle here. If I say to draw a circle at 50, that's green at position 200, 200, it'll be here. This is not new information. We kind of already can do this with the stuff we learned last class. So let's talk about something new. Let's talk about returning things. So if the user types in ASDF when prompted, X is going to equal the int of 45. If I print X, what am I going to see? I see the number 45. And if I have the user print or type in ASDF and they print Y, what do I see? ASDF. I'll see ASDF. So we here are we have two functions that are actually going to equal a value. We're saving that function call into a variable. So let's say I want to use my print sum function. If I call print sum and I have two numbers, it's going to print num1 plus num2. If I try to print my print sum, what do we think we will see here? Right. We might see an error.
Oh, wait, no.
Okay, so 34. So first we'll see 34 from this print, right? What is this print going to show us?
Error.
All right, we could see an error because we don't know what print sum is going to be, right?
You'll print it twice.
It could print it twice. And the answer is we will see the word none. When I try to print this function, when I try to print my print sum function, I will see the word none. So sometimes functions equal something. So some functions like int or input can equal something when we call them. And others, like the ones that we have defined so far, will not equal anything. So when we call them, they will equal the value none with a capital N. It's a special value in Python. It means nothing is here. So some functions do something that's called returning a value. And we can make our functions do the same thing by using the return keyword. So let's look at how that works. If I want to, instead of printing my sum, I want to get the sum of two numbers, number 1 and number 2. I can make my total equal the sum of them. And instead of printing, I can return my total. So now, when I call get sum with 2 and 5, that's essentially going to replace that line of code with the value that is returned from that function. So I can essentially say that's going to equal 7, right? Now, does a line of code that just says 7 on it, does that do anything? I don't think so. I mean, it won't cause an error. This will work, but it won't do anything. It won't produce any output. So if I want to actually make use of this code, I want to make sure that I print getSum with 2 and 5. So my getSum 2 and 5 will still get replaced with the number 7, but then I have that 7 inside of a print, and I will actually print the number 7. Cool so far? All right, so using return lets us make changes to the code outside of our functions based on whatever code is inside of those functions. So if I make an add1 function that takes a single parameter, and I return the value of that parameter plus 1, if num1 starts as 5 and I print num1, I'll see 5. If I say num1 equals add1 with num1 as a parameter, I'm going to fully call this function. I'm going to do everything inside of it, get whatever value is returned, and save that value into num1 again. So what do I see printed here? If I pass my 6, I'll see 6. Well, I don't have the output here. So that one will output, that's not the number 5. That one will output the number 5. And since we're passing num1 through here, x is going to equal 5. We're going to return 5 plus 1. We're going to return 6. Add 1 of num1 is going to become that 6. So num1 equals 6. We'll print 6. So when a function doesn't have a return value, the default return value is going to be that none value, which is why we see when I try to print a function without a return, that's why I see none. If I tried to save a function without a return into a variable, I would also get none in that variable. And the none value just means, like I said, there's nothing here. There's no data. So let's practice doing this. So let's act as the interpreter. We're going to read from top to bottom. When I get to here, what's going to happen? Am I going to run any of this code? Nope. We're going to see, oh, this add2 function is going to return x plus 2, but we're not going to run this yet. So we're going to associate that code with that name, and we're going to go down. We're going to associate this code with this name, and we're going to associate this code with this name, and then finally we're going to actually call some code. We're going to run some code. So we're going to print, do something with 10. So do something with 10. We're going to give this 10 value. 10 is going to be given to this x. All right, so now we're in do something. And we're going to return some value. We're going to return add2 of x. So we're going to jump into another function here. X is going to get passed yet again in another parameter. So this value of x is 10. This value of x is 10. So here we're going to return x plus 2. So what are we returning? We're returning 12. So returning 12. So that's going to send our number back, and we can just say 12 here. And we're going to add our multiply by 3 of x. X is going to go up in here. X is still 10. What is 10 times 3? 30. So we're going to return that 30, replace that multiplied by 3 to be 30. So then we're going to return 12 plus 30. That's just going to give us return 42. So our do something of 10, that will equal 42, and we will print 42. Makes sense how we can follow the sequence of function calls? Cool, everyone at home? Sweet. All right. And that is it for us today.